Heir of Carthage here, bringing you my next Napoleon Total War online commentary battle. It is a 4v4. You can see the players and the sides that they are playing on. My team will be spawning in those blue areas, and my opponents will be spawning in the red areas. So this will show you ahead of time the names. AggonyDuke is playing as Great Britain, raekwon, France, TomisamaRW, Great Britain, the Wizard of Con A, myself, Prussia, Hunter King George, I believe, is France. Pierre is France. Bdes OtwShank is Prussia, and J Bennett 2 is playing as France. So this battle is on the Ligny map. I'm going to go ahead and name this the Battle of Many Frances. Alright, here we are on the battle map, and my first move is to run my Prussian Fusiliers, which are skirmish units. I am running them up to the river because I want to be able to possess the area around the bridge by having a superior firing arc and firepower. Let's take a look at the mini-map real quick. All the blue forces are those on my team. I am lined up right here where my mouse is showing. raekwon is here. TomisamaRW is here. Or Tomisama, sorry, I keep saying that wrong. And then this right here is AggonyDuke on the far end. Our opponents are lined up on the north side of the river. So that is the main feature of the Ligny map, is the river that runs through. Let me go ahead and point out a couple of landforms that I named during the battle. This right here, this general area, I called the Peninsula of Many Woes, and you will find out why later. And this is the Bridge of Uncertainty. And let's go over here. Now this is the other end of the battle, and you can see why I'm calling this the Battle of Many Frances, because there's many Frances. Anyway, I call this the Valley of Fireworks, otherwise known as No Man's Land, because no one really comes through here except to capture buildings, and pretty much all that takes place on this side of the battle is a prolonged howitzer duel between my teammates and the enemy. So really most of the action takes place on the east side of the map, which is the side of the map where I am playing with Tomisama right here. This is Tomisama, not raekwon, sorry. This is Tomisama. He is my immediate teammate in this vicinity, and I work with him throughout most of the battle. So, fighting across a river is tricky business indeed, and there's a couple of strategies you can take. You can go heavy on infantry in hopes for getting across and having a knockout blow, or you can come heavy on artillery and hope to force your opponent to move through a bunch of choke points. Now here, my opponent was hoping to hurt these Prussian Fusiliers, my skirmish units, with his line infantry and chasseurs and artillery. So he has artillery fire train on my men, but I've noticed that his artillery is incredibly inaccurate and is really causing me almost no damage. So I'm going to hurry up and line up my skirmishers and unleash some devastating volleys onto my opponent. And then what I'm going to do is pull back so that his line infantry never get within range. So let's go across the river and see the damage that we're causing to my opponent already. You can already see a number of dead bodies on the ground. My opponent's troops are in compact formation. His chasseurs have the same range as my Prussian Fusiliers, but his line infantry do not. He's got a Grenadiers of the line and a Fusilier of the line, and then his general's bodyguard is up here as well. He intelligently runs his general out of this battle, but unintelligently he keeps moving his troops forward, being lured in by my trap, and he's trying to get as close to the edge of the river as he can, thinking that I'm going to allow his line infantry to get volleys off on my skirmishers, and that I will not allow. I keep my men out of his range. So here, while he's scooting up, attempting to get into range, I simply back my men up more. And his chasseurs get a few shots, but really to not much effect. And you can see the large amount of artillery fire trained on my Fusilier, and you would think that it would be devastating them, but it's not. It's causing extremely little damage. So my men are back within range of his again, and any moment here they're going to open fire. There they go. It looks like they are firing on his units here. You can see his men dropping, and see my musket fire flying across the river. So this is a small massacre here on the banks of the river, and I suppose we should name this the River Styx, since so many men die here this day. Alright, back to some other action. My Prussian opponent has 4 units of Silesian Schützen, which have superior range to my Prussian Fusilier, And once again, my opponent makes a major mistake because he moves his skirmishers within range of my skirmishers. That was incredibly foolish, as he should have pushed their 125 range against my 100 range skirmishers and killed me from outside of my range. See, that's one thing you have to use a river for, is when there is a river or natural barricade, it makes it to where enemy troops cannot scoot up any further to get in range without going through a choke point. So my opponent was definitely making a huge mistake in leaving his Silesian Schützen in range of my my Prussian Fusilier. And let's watch the effects of this. So here's my other 3 units of skirmishers returning from their massacre. And here this unit of Silesian Schützen bites a big one. And these Chasseurs rout. You can see these men are getting killed relatively quick. These men here in the center are doing better. These really are superior quality skirmishers, but their numbers are fewer, and so you really have to use their range effectively in order to make up the difference. But watch these men get cut down as they run away. He realizes what he's done wrong, but it's too late, and he pulls back, and this unit of men just gets absolutely mowed down by my skirmishers. And then they rout. So far, Tomisama and myself have taken possession of the river crossing point. We haven't pushed troops across yet because our opponents still have line infantry just outside the range of our light infantry, but we do own the river crossing in such a way that our opponents cannot get any closer to it than we can. And here Tomisama opens up with his light foot, some devastating volleys onto the remainder of those Silesian Schützen, and causes them a great deal of damage, and also heavily damages this unit of musketeers of the Prussian opponent, OtwShank. So he's the one in control of the enemy Prussians. So please do not confuse these Prussians with my Prussians. So I do rather well in this battle, which is a big difference. I usually suck hard in Napoleon. And this time I was trying to remember to use the strengths of my units properly. And I'm going to try and get you lots of close-ups all throughout this battle because I want you to be able to see the sweet effects on Napoleon Total War, which to me is kind of what makes the game. See some massive artillery fire going on there. Alright, so OtwShank makes another huge mistake. He charges his cavalry across the bridge, probably wanting to get a hold of our light infantry. And I don't know if he just didn't see Tomisama's cavalry, but this ends up being a suicide charge for the enemy Prussians. And let me get you this fight. It's really a brutal fight. So here you have Prussian cuirassiers duking it out with Great Britain light dragoons. And the cuirassiers would normally win this fight, except for the fact that they were outnumbered. They just came through a choke point on the bridge, and my light infantry was firing at them. So the cuirassiers are not going to win this fight. And just to ensure their loss, I've got a unit of Prussian Fusilier that's going to fire some shots into their rear back here. But I do have to be careful about firing shots in because I do not want to hurt my opponent's or my teammate's troop more than my opponent's troops. So there go the cuirassiers. They made a bold but foolish charge and paid the price. But one thing you have to remember when you're a soldier fighting for the heir of Carthage, or as my name on this game is, the Wizard of Cannae, you have to remember that you can and will be asked to fight to the death. So my soldiers fight very bravely, but they know that I expect much of them. And here we are, we'll just take a panning run down this river. And my Prussian Fusilier are the powerhouse units of this battle. They cause more damage than any other equal number of units on my team. And not just on my army, but on any army. They inflict heavy, heavy damage on my opponents. And now we're going to see why this peninsula is being named the Peninsula of Sorrow. If you can't tell, there's already many sorrows over here. If by sorrow I mean corpses. And here we're about to make it that much more so. This is a part of the battle that I like to call the Massacre of the National Guardsmen. These poor National Guardmen were probably brought as cannon fodder, and here they get used as exactly that. My opponent's trying to reduce the number of my skirmishers, but all that happens is the National Guard just get absolutely slaughtered by my skirmishers. So remember that I have 5 skirmish units, times 60 men in each unit, so I had 300 skirmishers. It's a lot in a battle that's fought on this setting. So here you can see the National Guardsmen just being absolutely and utterly wasted, and here they rout. They're going to make a run for it, which is intelligent. So you can see that a couple of my skirmish units, now 3 of them, have chevrons. That's how many men that they've killed in this battle. So the Peninsula of Sorrow is just now getting underway. If you think this is a lot of bodies, just wait. Now when I tell you that all the action was taking place on my side of the battle, I mean it. Because if you look on this side, all you really see is constant artillery fire flying back and forth. There's really not a whole lot else going on. But it is kind of important. My teammates up here managed to hold these other 2 French armies. But what's actually working to our favor is that these other 2 players can see that we're pounding this Prussian and the Frenchman over here, which was commanded, this French army back here is commanded by S.J. Bennett II, and these Prussian armies are the armies of Bdes, OtwShank. So the enemy teammates, Pierre and Hunter King George, which is all the way back here, continue to send units back to the east side of the battlefield to reinforce their opponents who are losing. But they leave enough troops that my teammates don't wish to cross the bridges yet. So here, the Prussian player, who is OtwShank, is moving his troops down here to this bridge on the far end, thinking that he can get his troops across this bridge because my focus will have to remain on that other bridge. But as you can see by the red line here, this bridge is a major choke point, and even if you do make it across the bridge, you get still caught in a choke point between the river and the red line here. So this is a very, very dangerous zone. And to take care of that choke point, you'll notice that I've left 2 very prized units back here, and that would be my foot guards. And these men are the Imperial Stormtroopers of the Prussian army, as far as I'm concerned. And you're going to see them really fight very bravely. And yep, you'll see them soon. They are going to guard that choke point. And if you'll notice a somewhat somber look on their face, it's because these men are duty-bound and duty-driven, and they are marching to take care of their duty, knowing that they will face overwhelming odds. But they play a pivotal role in this battle. And I will show you that soon. Alright, in the meantime, I'm rushing a bunch of my line infantry across the bridge because we were able to push back our opponent's infantry, and you're going to find out why this is called the bridge of, I don't remember what I called it, the bridge of uncertainty. Yeah, that was it.